Hey guys, and welcome back to another game review. It is this time Melbourne versus GWS, in which GWS kicked a dagger goal at the end of the game with, probably 40 seconds to go, something like that. And boom, the game wow. It was a pretty amazing back-to-back game, or end-to-end game, I should say. And in the end, GWS pull out 3-point winners over Melbourne, 3 behinds extra that they ended up kicking, and that's how it ended up. So anyway, let's just jump into this game. A recap. Maxi Gawn, 127, 129 splits. I know that Cherry beat him out by 2 points, but also Cherry had what is arguably just as easy a matchup, I would say. So, and Gawn kind of has easy matchups in the next little bit. So I'm not too worried about that, as well as the fact that Cherry's priced at like 3 or 4 points higher than, I think it's 3 points higher than Gawn. Supercoach wise, a little bit annoying that he probably got massively scaled down a little bit, but I'm also not too worried because the tackles as well weren't there for him, and that could have easily been a 3 or a 4 tackle game, as well as the marks weren't there for him. That could have easily gone up a little bit, so I'm not too worried about Gawn. He does have who does he have this week? Let me actually just double check that, who he has this week. So yeah, I'm not too worried about Gawn. I've said it multiple times. He's always going to put up big numbers, I feel like. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. He has North Melbourne this week against Cherry, so that'll be an interesting matchup. I feel like Gawn just should be able to get Gawn a little bit there. Gawn should be able to get Cherry a little bit there and put out, say, 110 and limit Cherry a little bit. So that should be good. Christian Salem, 124, 113. I'm not getting foxed by this, I don't think. It's too worrying. He had 30 touches there. I don't think you need to correct to Salem just yet. Sparrow, 96, 84. 21, 4 and 5, 1 goal. He looked pretty good as well. Christian Petrarca, 27, 2 and 3. 2 goals as well, 95 with to get a 95-98 split with 27 touches and 2 goals. It's a little bit disappointing that he didn't have the non-disposal work to get him up towards that 110 marker, but it's okay. Xavier Lindsay had 94-86 on 22 touches, 3 and 6 tackles, 5 free kicks, 4 is probably a little bit worrying that he had that many free kicks, 4. But I still think when you're on, he's a correction trade this week for fancy, easy one to do because he's going to have like a negative 20 break even or something like that. Let me just see if I can quickly get out of that so that I don't show you guys. And then we go to break even here, and you'll see Lindsay, -8 break even there. And then, so yeah, he's going to be an obvious one that gains cash pretty quickly there, as I'd suspect if he was to drop a 60 or something like that, which is very achievable in my opinion. If he drops a 70, he goes up 70k. So that pretty much is what it is. Bowie, 87-96. Clayton Oliver, a little bit disappointing with an 84-93 split, but you do also have to look at this and see that he did have 4 free kicks against. If he doesn't have the 4 free kicks against, that's a 96, but obviously he's probably going to have 1 or 2, so that's a 90-93 on 25 touches. He's probably going to have more kicks in due course, as well as probably he's going to kick the occasional goal, it feels like, so I'm not too worried about that. And I'm pretty sure his CBA time was pretty good anyway, so I'm not too worried about that at all. If we just go to Melbourne 2025 here, you'll see Clayton Oliver, 73%. He'll bounce back. People are looking at one game and being like, oh, he's not as good. I don't think so. He also him and Petrarca copped, I think, the interchanging tag as well. So I'm not too worried about that when he doesn't get the tag game. And they do have North Melbourne. Are they going to send a Phillips to him? I don't think it's as good as the Bedford tag. So I'm not too worried about that either. The tag system on DFS isn't going to work yet because we don't have multiple games of data. Trent Rivers, 83-73, not really worried about anyone down here. Henderson, 48-55, is probably just a Supercoach downgrade in a couple of weeks' time because he's 99k. If he does, if he's good on the bubble next week, that could be an interesting one, but that's a wait and watch. Sharp, no. Aiden Johnson suspended, so that could be an interesting one in the forward line to jump off of someone that's, I don't know exactly in the forward line. Who exactly we have. Maybe jump off at Davidson if he's done enough by then. His cash generation slowed or something like that. Aiden Johnson. I think that could be a play, something like that, as you free up cash, plus also you're probably going to get, with the later cash generation or price bubble for Johnson, it's going to be fine. Jefferson, Howes, Van Rooyen, and Langford came on as a sub. Langford coming on as a sub, a little bit annoying, 21% time on ground, 5 touches, 1 mark. He'll be a good player, just needs to get time on ground, which will happen when he's not the sub. Then we move over to the GWS Giants here, and Toby Green, a 112, a 124. 23 touches, 3 goals, 3. He was absolutely back to his best, and I just want to see, I don't think he's going to be involved in the CBAs, but he does have this cheeky, Toby Green has this cheeky little role here. And I'm wondering, because that's kept up both games here, and Leak had 0% CBAs, which is kind of annoying. But 24% CBAs, we haven't seen this role from him, I would think, since basically 2014-15. So I'm wondering if he's going to be that guy that just chips in just fractionally with the role here. And you see, when he does have his CBA years, I was going to say it does look like he gets improved, but that 69 is also about on par with about an 80 because of the shortened quarters. So when he has his best CBA years, it looks like he averages in the mid-80s. I'm just wondering if he's going to be a guy that suddenly we look at and we go, maybe, just maybe he's a good shout for later on in the year if his role continues to hold, because he could be a 90s guy. But it's just too risky early on with the goals that he's kicked. I think he's kicked 4 goals, 5 in the 2 games. So that's 29. That's 29 points out of his 194. Take that out. That's what 165, and that's already 82.5. So he's already down and about if he isn't kicking goals. So that's an interesting wait and watch, I feel like. Lockie Whitfield, we saw this coming from a mile away. That's fine. Exactly what he's going to do in some games, and this is pretty much what he averaged, I think, in both Supercoach and Fantasy last year, roughly. I think the Supercoach might have been inflated a little bit over his average, but Supercoach, he's not going to do much. He's not going to go down much. He's not going to go up much on Fantasy either. So he'll hold around that price, and he's probably one of the guys that we can target for the Perryman upgrade in a week or two, maybe. 350k probably can't get you there. Maybe from a Sanders if you can take it. Maybe you can get up from a Sanders to Perryman to a Whitfield through Sanders is my guess, but that would be quite a jump there. So wait and watch. I'm probably more looking at like a Stewart or something like that, or a Holmes in that front. Whitfield, Green, outstanding on the buy, but a guy on the buy now, but a guy that I'm definitely keen to wait and watch as he can be. He could be that guy that you can still get underpriced, even if it's like round 4, 5, 6, etc. So just wait and watch him. Kelly, 98.90. Hillenberg, 96, 110. Finn Callahan, 31 touches. One thing I really like about Callahan, he's got a 104. With only 4 marks and tackles, and behind as well. He hasn't done much, and 6 contested possessions, 3 clearances. He hasn't done much, and he's still, if this is his floor game, this is very, very intriguing. This could get out of hand with Callahan, I feel like, because he's had 31 touches here. He's had 31 touches. If he gets to and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that, because he goes 2.5, 2.5, and it's a 101 here. So he's just lifted right across the board. And his tackles and marks in the first game, if you look at it, were 4 and 2. If he can lift those tackles and marks up, he's going to be very, very dangerous because he's getting the touches. So this is very, very intriguing. Because he's still priced at 830, 840k. He's still priced at like 82, and he's going at 101 currently. His points per minute are up and about. If we look at Green with a 0.94 points per minute. 0.94 points per minute for Green averages near enough 100 for Green on 80% TOG. And we're looking at him on 81% TOG at the moment. So I'm very, very intrigued about this and how it's going to go for him, because the numbers suggest right now that he's probably going to average about 97, 98. And he's a guy that I think you can carry through almost to the bye here at the moment on both platforms, because he's doing outstanding, especially on Supercoach at the moment because of his disposal efficiency. He's averaging 124 with a 114. And yeah, if we were to, I'm just going to duplicate this and show you Tom Green's stats in Supercoach, because they are awfully similar in terms of the way that they go about it. He's going at a 115 with a 1.16. So right now, the way that his trajectory, Finn Callahan, is that he's probably going to average around about that 110 in Supercoach, which is absolutely huge for a guy priced at, what was he priced at, 85, something like that in Supercoach. So definitely a guy that we can hold on to, especially with Will Days copping tags left, right, and centre. Clayton Oliver had a poor start, but sort of a middling game, an 80-90 split, 85-90 split with the tag, through a tag isn't the worst. Cherry's moving to half back, it looks like, so chaos in that 400k across all brackets are looking chaotic at the moment, including the defender line. Cornelio, Brown, Keith, Ware. Ware's an interesting one, especially with tandem with Stone, because he can play halfback as well, but he was sub in first game. So I'm not too concerned about this in terms of Stone's. I don't think Stone gets dropped. I think he's a guy that they will go through still, because I still think you can have Stone. If you look at it right now, why? This is the first game. Why do I need an advertisement? Stone, you've got Stone, you've got Ash, and you've got Whitfield there off halfback. You don't really have as the pure halfbacks, not key defenders, not lockdowns, etc. You got those three. That can easily happen in a 7-man defense. So I'm not too worried about that. Ware's on a wing. You've got McMullen coming back as well as some other guys. Fonte's probably the only guy that I'd be worried about if he was ahead of Stone. But I think Stone being their VFL Player of the Year, I think he's going to be a guy that stays in the side, to be honest, over Fonte. But we'll wait and see. And the 42, it does suck, but you can loop him this week and hopefully get some more cash down out of him next week, as I still think he's in the low teens for break-even. If I just go here quickly, he's got a 6 break-even for next week in fantasy, and I believe his Supercoach break-even's probably roughly the same, if not, it's probably less in Supercoach, given that he's on the bubble now, effectively. Let's just look at his, does it show it, or is it going to be, it's a negative 39 break even for Stone. So if this will show it here. So if he does go and score a 33 next week, which is very, very achievable, given he's averaging 53. If he scores a 33, he goes up 31k. But we expect him to probably put out a 53, which is going to go up, I'd suggest, potentially about 40k or so. I'd wait it out with Stone. I think he's still in the side. Leak, on the other hand, is a little bit worrying. Also, as well, Brett Daniels gone down injured. I didn't see that, to be honest with you. So that's intriguing that he's gone down injured. I don't know exactly what it was. Let's actually go to the AFL injuries, because they updated yesterday. Wow, Adelaide, clean bill. Whereas GWS. So you got Brett Daniels' hip is a test. So avoided any major damage. Briggs concussion, Hogan thumb, Stringer. These guys are all tests to play in round 3. Well, you would expect Daniels. I guess this is a test. To be with the time frame is late day, but the club is confident has avoided any major damage. Should feature in after the club's round 2 bye. Yep. So these are, I think, already a test for round 3, let alone not round 2. So that's intriguing about Brett Daniels. Jesse Hogan and Jake Stringer should be brought back, as well as won't play. Riccardi probably doesn't even play if Stringer's there, I would say. Hogan being back probably means Gruz loses his spot, and so it'll be interesting about because Faye's probably the one that would knock off Stone, to be honest with you, if he did play. But Fonte, it's interesting, but I think there's still so much chaos with this with the GWS line, and Leake's probably going to be the unlucky guy to miss out because, yeah, he just he lost his role, and so it's probably a red dot waiting to happen in the back line, which means that Perriman's got to go, I think, for me in a couple weeks' time. So anyway, that is pretty much the video. A little bit of a tangent here and there with that, but I think there's a lot to go on with this Western Sydney side after their bye with their team selection. So that's just a wait and watch on the rookies. I think Gruzeski is gone because he's had the sub already, so you can't trust that. 2, Leake, I think he's gone. Which sucks for me as that turns into a red dot, but there wasn't much I could do. I could have maybe selected O'Connell, but I didn't trust him. I could probably flip Leake to a someone because, yeah, a Bo Allen or something like that will get someone in that defender line that I can flip him to regenerate that cash in. It just sucks a little bit at the moment. And Stone, I think, survives, so that'll be intriguing there. Potentially even Stone I can flip in round 6 because he'll have defender status, and then I can hold him there and move Leake on to someone else. But anyway, that is the video there. If you did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. If you're listening on Spotify, give me a follow and a rating over there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.